Goddamn.
1, 2, 3.
Oh my God! That's just too dirty!
Yeah.
The shit's fire.
This is a fucking banger.
Ladies and gentlemen, cats, snakes, dogs, chicken, elderly people, workers, and twerkers.
Yeah.
Turn it up!
I don't give a fuck.
It's the Ruckus. What the fuck you expect?
I body slapped my wife, my nigga.
I wouldn't say that was Jay's forte though. What Fab was doing,
Yeah,
like Jay had specific tracks.
I mean, every time he hit a verse, you know what I mean, it hit. And
Well,
God
it
forbid
depends.
he put you on the remix, because it'll be a rap.
Between rappers, it's different because it's more like you. I don't think it goes all the way that route because it might be also favors. Like you hop on one of my tracks and I hop on one of yours. That's how it used to work for a long time.
Yeah.
For R&B, this is also for upcoming artists. It's like, all right, let's put you with Fab because that's a guarantee hit. It's a cheat code. Or T-Pain and boom, and there you are. So
if you were in like the early '90s or late '90s, early 2000s,
there you go.
Nate Dogg was a fucking hit till like you could still guarantee a Nate Dogg like platinum song till like 2000 something.
Nate Dogg was like the fucking king of hooks back then.
Yeah, he was. Nothing such him.
And remember, maybe it was 250, and he doesn't get any split too. It could have been that too. Just give me 250. The song's yours.
Also, he wasn't getting anything on the back end.
It could be.
That's why I think.
Which happens.
So like you mean like 250 with no publishing, no royalties.
I'm thinking he was getting 250 with publishing then, because
probably not as much though. But yeah,
no, claro.
Yeah, but a guy in his position.
In the front and nothing in the back, right?
I did want to. Well, first off, welcome to the motherfucking Ruckus up in the bitch. And I wanted to ask y'all this, like, when y'all hear shit from that era, when y'all was younger, like, what's one of those songs? We could go what Fab was doing, like one of those aggressive love songs, as Brutus was saying. What's the one that would stand out to you? Like to each one of you.
You're all I need.
What?
Get the fuck out of here. No.
Are we talking 90s or we're talking 2000s?
Yeah, what we talking
your era, whatever era. Like,
You're All I Need by Method Man and Mary J.
All I Need, Method Man. Yeah.
That's my favorite ever, to be honest.
That's what I need.
There's a few other ones.
I will have to say Switch, Will Smith.
You know what's crazy though? People get hyped to that shit, like for no reason. Like why y'all so hyped?
Cancel this man.
Oh man.
Well, you know what? I know he gets a lot of shit now, but damn it, Ja Rule, before Fab, Ja Rule was his thing.
Bro. He had a beat. He had that shit on lock.
Ja Rule and Ashanti, yeah. He was there was a lot of people there was a lot of niggas in jail listening to Ja Rule missing their girlfriends.
Before Ashanti, it was Little Mo and Put It On Me.
Yes.
Little Mo.
There's a lot of dudes in jail listening to Ja Rule.
Little Mo with Fab as well.
Little Mo with Fab that was a track.
She gave Fab that shine.
What was that? That was
Superwoman. Superwoman, yeah. They bodied that shit too, like both of them. Because it's like
what was that track, that Method Man track that he had on his second album, To Cow 2?
Oh, the breakups and makeup shit.
With D'Angelo?
Yeah, that's another track.
It was hard. It was like some street nigga shit. Like, yo, you fall in love hard.
Street Love. With Capadonna, I think.
Nah. I'm talking like it was. I think I know what track you talking about. Yeah. That was another one. That was on the second album.
What about You're All
we said that one already.
I think Fab owns that era though. 2000, 2010.
Yeah. Absolutely. Like it was like a decade.
2000 to 2010. Like when it comes to like. Because
remember, 2003.
Well, yeah, because 50 knocked Ja Rule out, so Ja Rule was gonna.
Before 50 was Ja. Before 50 was Ja.
Hold up.
Before 50 it was Ja.
Before Fab it was Ja, but then 50 took Ja out. I'm talking about like the R&B, the collab.
It was Ja.
Yeah, hell yeah.
It was all Ja.
Anything
Ja
Mary
had a
J.
run
I'll give Ja way more credit before Fab.
Ja was what's it called? He had a run like 5 years, like 98 to 03.
Yeah,
nobody was really, not even Fab was on that level because he had pop. Ja had like pop hits. But yeah, Fab was like kind of like if it wasn't Ja, it was Fab. And then fucking 50 came and knocked him out and took his formula. Yo, that's 21 questions, bro. That shit. That's when you think about it. It's a brilliant song. Like when you think about it, because he's literally asking the questions.
Just funny.
He put it in the title. He just
21 questions.
Like, bro, this nigga, he man slick with it, but
didn't he bring somebody else in the hook?
Nate Dogg. Yeah, Nate Dogg on that shit. Yeah, Nate Dogg.
But that's 21 questions was it. That 21 questions was it. That song with Raekwon, all that it's not a love song, but it puts you in the feels. No, all that I got is you.
Oh, the Ghostface. That's like that's sort of like you had a fucked up childhood type. Yeah, it's like emotions. That's the one that was like after Dear Mama, that was the song that had niggas in jail crying.
And Jay-Z and Maya.
So
the Best of Me. I was listening to that shit yesterday.
Oh my gosh, you just said Maya. This came up. This video.
So Best of Me is another one of those tracks that just like
banger, bro.
This video is great.
Yeah.
Which was this one?
I'm still trying to think, man. There's a few other ones. Anything with Mary J. Blige, anything Mary J.
I think this was the year that she was on the cover of what magazine was that?
What
about that joint with Joe and Mystical? Stutter.
Oh, 0203. No, that was like 2000.
I was just listening to that today too when we were talking about the R&B shit.
Nice.
Baby, don't go. That the fucking how they mix that shit in, bro. Fucking brilliant.
Maya was dope. Maya was.
Yes. Anybody follow her on the gram? She still look right.
Yeah, she does.
She's still looking right out there.
She living her best life, bro. She vegan.
She vegan now. Yeah.
No come carne. Digo, come otra carne.
I see what you did there.
Yo, you mentioned that fucking song. The Mike mentioned the Mystical and Joe song. I'm like, yo, that shit. That's another dude right there that he really had to. Like when you wanted an R&B singer, you wanted to go to Joe. Like Joe was a dude because he wrote his own shit. You didn't need to write nothing for him.
That what was crazy? I'm Not a Player, which is probably the one song that he was best known for.
Yeah,
one of those classic hip hop R&B songs. I remember when that came out. You had at the time Lawrence, the Dominicans and Puerto Ricans going at each other, and then that summer when that song dropped, every Dominican was also Puerto Rican for that summer. I was like,
we were all Puerto Rican for 3 months.
We were all Puerto Rican for 3 months. It's like everybody had a Puerto Rican cousin, Boricua, Morena. Except for KC. KC don't like Puerto
Rican. He can't even deny it.
Yo, so here's a question.
Puerto Rican and he is Taino.
Yo, real quick, Brutus, before you ask the question, I wanted to ask y'all remember this song? It was Mary J did a song. We're talking mid-90s, and she had Smith & Wesson on it.
I don't remember that song. I don't.
Wait, what was that? Repeat that again. I didn't hear
you. Mary J. Blige had a song where the remix had Smith & Wesson on it, rapid. But that's when dudes was doing the blends. Like they'll take like a R&B beat and then just like rap. But that was the official remix though, because she was still on I think on Uptown or something back then. Look this shit up, you'll see. Yeah, I'm still.
I don't remember that track. I wasn't too big on Smith & Wesson though. I'll be honest on that.
I Love You.
Yeah, that's the song. That's the song.
That's Black and Lawrence.
That shit was fire because it had like a hard ass beat, but she said
is it supposed to be sexy?
When Maya does it, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
Anything Maya does is sexy. I support that.
When she does it, it's on point. She can tap dance all day. She's dope though. I always liked her.
You know what though? That was like she actually went to school for all that, like a performing arts high school. So she did all of that shit like herself. It wasn't like she just did it for the video. I'm like, yo, how talented is this motherfucker?
I don't think she got as much when she was at the top of her game. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if
it
she
was
got
a
as
lot
much.
of artists, bro. It was a lot. Like you had 3LW, 702, Maya. You know,
she got credit, but yeah, it's like Big says. It was populated.
Yo, it was like
that was so much.
Take your favorite R&B singer.
Yeah,
it was too many, bro. Confusing
and that's why I kind of agreed with KC. Like that era is just that was R&B. Period. Like that's you wanted to make a hit, you had to be an R&B, right?
Hell yeah.
And so I get KC there, but I'm also not going to agree with him that R&B now is not as good.
You know what it is?
I didn't say that. Yeah, it's like trash.
No, I'm say something. You know why I said that? I said that because Peter said that.
No.
2010. ¿Dónde está el Peter el diablo, coño?
Yeah, where's Peter?
I think we should start with the 150K question then and wait for Peter.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
But before we get to that, I have a serious question. Damn.
Yeah,
bro. Can I ask my serious question? So here's my question. It's a serious question. Out of all the Ruckus podcast members, which is the member that you dislike the most, and why is it KC?
Daniel.
Why is it KC? Even KC hates
KC. Oh shit! I'm fucking with you. I had to.
Guy.
That was great.
Putting the horror music on that shit, bro.
Yo, this is the longest fucking sound ever.
Forever.
I'm never playing that again. Go ahead, bro.
No, after all the trolling and shit KC did to me this week, I had to get back at him somewhere. Motherfuckers trolling me all week with everything.
Nah, I hate Peter for his comments. I hate Peter for his comments today.
No, we'll get him when he comes in. Maybe he won't even come in.
Wait, what did Peter say today?
He talked shit about late 90s and early 2000s R&B.
Yeah, he shitted on R&B the whole day.
How old is Peter again?
He's 27.
Fuck him.
28, 29, right? 28,
He was like 9.
No, he's 28. Yeah.
Man, fuck him.
No, it's 29, bro.
No, he's not. I'm 33.
He was born in 92. What years? Yeah.
Holy shit. Yeah, he is 29. Fuck.
Damn, even his own brother don't know his age. God damn.
See, that's what you get when you say whack shit like that.
Yeah, that's what you get. Yo,
they just own your age.
Real question. So we talking about music going back to the 2000s. I think we're kind of aging ourselves, but let's age ourselves a little bit more. And this was a question that Big had originally asked, for us to talk about. I think it's interesting we go back to it. What was your parents' reactions when you guys started listening to hip hop music?
Quita eso. Eso no es por tiempo.
That's about right.
Mom, this was making funny. A mí no me importa ningún Will at me. Quítalo.
You remember Kenan and Kel?
Oh my God.
Hold up. Casey, you ever watching Kenan and Kel? Your parents?
Bro, this is Nickelodeon.
Yeah,
this is the whitest black people could be. Like my man loves orange soda, not grape. Orange soda.
Oh God!
But it was the intro song with Coolio that they had an intro.
Oh my God!
Oh shit! This motherfucker said
I want to hear what Mike got to say about his experience. Because what your mom say, bro?
Your parents did not care about black people.
Nah, I think it was. I mean, you see, Fresh Prince, the way he came in with his hat backwards and stuff like that, and then also with the Wayans brothers. That's all they look at. They didn't even listen to what they were talking about or anything. They just saw they dressed like rappers. They assumed they were saying like crazy wild stuff.
Oh God!
Yeah, mad racist.
Your parents are low key joke supporters. Ain't even tell you. Nah, why you really conservative, you asshole.
Nah, they was Bush senior supporters. That's what they were doing.
Yeah.
No, Bush senior supporters.
Y'all killing my parents, yo, damn.
Oh,
for real.
Your parents are racist. They had that one black friend, huh?
Not mine.
My parents weren't that bad. But it's like,
how bad were they?
No. I'm trying to think, because like.
Here's a question. From a scale. No.
They're not.
Here's the question, Kelvin. Here's the question. From a scale to 1 between one and dating a Haitian woman, how bad were your parents?
Diablo.
Okay, fine. My dad probably a 9.
Damn. That's interesting.
Wait, well, hold on. When you say it's a bad thing or a good thing, that's what I'm trying to understand.
Okay, the bad thing is the connotation because it's a terrible
thing. That's what he's saying.
So one
no, then my bad. I thought you meant like him dating a Haitian woman.
No, you gotta be. You gotta be honest. Hold on.
They're like a 2.
But you're putting it like
a 2. My mom like. Nah, my mom like a 2 as well.
You put it like all like Dominicans is just something only again.
My parents,
you know it's a colorism thing too, bro.
My parents didn't have so much an issue with black people, more with the streets, and it didn't matter who was out in the streets. They just didn't like that.
Nah, bro. Even si tú traes una panameña, una dominicana también que she was black. Whatever.
My parents never had an issue with that.
You never brought one home, nigga. I don't want to hear that shit. I'm not saying that they wouldn't accept, but you know that comment or you have that aunt in Thanksgiving. If you would have brought a black girl,
they run them out.
Can I finish? Talking about parents.
They would have said
what my aunt said.
No, your aunt, some of our aunts are our parents.
True. All right, go ahead.
Okay, whatever. Fine.
Okay, so
you know what I was gonna say, right?
Yeah,
that famous comment.
But I brought a Pakistani home, and my parents never said anything about it. They had no issue.
They searched her for bombs, bro.
Porque ya tiene el pelo lambío, mi loco.
También, muy bien, Begalones. That's a good point.
Like a good bomb joke right now, but I'll leave it alone.
No, that flew over the head. That was right after 9/11.
That was after 2001.
Wow.
And my parents had no issue with it. And
so here's my thing.
Wait,
and I had a ton of black friends over my house, and they never had it.
She was like, at least she's not black. That's what she said. You just don't want to say it.
Nah, not my mom. My mom. Listen, no. Seriously. Out of her whole family, my mom's probably the only one that's probably the not racist. I separate my mom from her whole family.
Yeah, you have to think about that.
So wait. Just to piggyback, how did your parents feel about them Puerto Ricans, huh? So I know y'all had that thing. How they felt about Equals in the house?
That's another good point.
It depends.
All right, fair enough.
But no,
so Kelvin's different. Kelvin's on a different curve. Big Alonies, what would have happened at your house? I know we kind of moved away from the subject. We'll get back to that one. But what would have happened at your house on that scale of 1 to a Haitian woman? And to the Haitians that are listening to us, I'm not trying to demean Haiti or nothing like that. I'm just using that scale so that we can also talk about anti-Haitianism, because I eventually some point want to get to that video that I think Big Aloni has posted in the chat.
No, it was Abram, and I don't want to get to that.
Oh, you don't want to get to that video?
Nah, bro.
Nah. So
I missed the video. So what happened? Give me the premise of the video.
That came from my family's chat, and that's just some wild.
What happened?
Shit.
What happened? What happened with the Haitian?
We'll get to it later.
All right, bet.
We'll get to it, Mike. Go ahead.
Wait, did the soundboard come off?
No. Matter of fact, it's motherfucking Dominicans being pissed. The Dominicans are fucking lazy. There, I said it.
Well, Dominicans are being pissed. The Dominicans are lazy.
That's something to be MAGA like.
Huh? No.
That's something to be MAGA like.
Wow, so.
Different context, bro.
Dominicans being MAGA like, yes. Over in the island, yeah. But they're just mad because Dominican youth is being lazy as fuck over there.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Like, you ain't gonna do that.
And Haitians is out there doing their shit. They out there studying, becoming doctors, lawyers, and taking all their jobs because they want to be smoking hookah and fucking drinking in the corner all fucking day. So fuck them.
This is something KC will say.
It's not just limited to people in the hood, bro. It's like,
no.
It's literally
so
like,
let me guess. They're taking our jobs. They're bringing crime. They're not bringing their best.
They're bringing voodoo.
They're bringing voodoo.
Yeah.
But listen, that's nothing new. Listen, Dominicans.
They're bringing Wycliffe Jean.
Let's be honest. Dominicans. Yeah, exactly. But Dominicans were MAGA before MAGA existed. Like Dominicans are the original MAGAs. So like
xenophobes.
Yeah. It's like it's tied into like our national identity. And I'll say this: there have been situations where I've defended Haitians, especially because I have Haitian peoples in my family. Like, I have uncles who have married Haitian women, and I've defended it. And I've literally been told that because of that, I can't be Dominican. So, and that's the reason I phrased the scale that way. Because, it's just to point that shit out. Like, to be Dominican is to kind of be, anti-Haitian, unfortunately, which is something we got to deal with. No, it's not.
Stop saying that, all right?
You don't think so, KC? Hold on. Wait, whoa.
No. I do. I agree with you to an extent, but stop I hate this agenda that everybody thinks that way because it's not like that.
What do you specifically, let's be clear, let's get through this. What do you specifically have a problem with?
No, because you're saying like it's part of the identity to hate Haitians. It's not like that, bro. Come on. There is immigration problems, and there's hate towards whoever's your neighbor, no matter what, or whoever's coming into your country. Because I've heard a lot of bad stories about Dominicans going to Puerto Rico. They do it with Mexicans here. So nobody goes to Canada, so Canada can't say anything. But,
what do you mean nobody goes to Canada?
Nobody goes to Canada.
Nobody goes to Canada. I don't want to hear that. But what I'm saying is...
So let KC finish.
Canada is America's leftovers.
Yeah, so
with better healthcare.
Go ahead, Casey. Finish.
I just don't want to like. Okay, if you say it's a gran mayoría, like a big percentage. I agree with you there, but I don't want to lump it to see like all Dominicans think like, because it's not true. Because we had teachers who were Haitians and stuff like that, and we didn't treat them any different. We grew up with some Haitian people in el barrio de nosotros, and we didn't treat them any different. It was just like fulano ya. Now were there jokes about mira esta con una haitiana and cosas así? Yeah, that exists. I'm not gonna say no, but to say that everybody just like hates them, no. Like it's a certain group of people who push that agenda. When people are bored, they go to that thing. When the politicians, it's
a big group of uneducated people. That's
Can I answer that?
And misled.
Can I answer that?
Uneducated.
No, Brutus, I'm not done.
Okay, go ahead. But you'll let me answer that.
But hold on, right before you start, how are they uneducated? When we go to school, I literally told Brutus what they show you over there. The Haitians tried to invade Dominican Republic, and that's in history over there.
But it's true though.
It's true for like Brutus. You talked to me about this, and you showed that.
It's true to an extent.
Okay, listen, Haiti invaded the Dominican Republic right after the Haitian independence, and the Dominican Republic gained its independence not from Spain but from Haiti. It was 21 years of Haitian occupation of the Dominican Republic, and part of the reason that Dominicans have this grand hatred of Haitians, obviously the racism is a huge part of it, but it's also because of that 22-year occupation, and the reason why that's so big is because at the time, the colonialists in the Dominican Republic, the criollos, which were Spanish people who were born on the islands and their descendants, they wanted to become a Spanish colony again. And Haiti didn't let that happen. The Dominicans fought against the Haitians, won their independence, and then again tried to sell the Dominican Republic back to Spain as a colony. And then the United States tried to annex the Dominican Republic until 1916 when the United States came in and took over the island. So that's not like Dominican propaganda. That's literal history. Like that's history. So
there's a couple facts there that have been altered in Dominican history, but
now Lou is using his logic against me. You see how crazy that is?
I know what you're saying, Kevin. Yeah.
That's false.
There's a couple of altered facts to like the actual story, like of them invading and them leaving, but that's an overview that you did, so it's fine.
So real quick, I'm giving an overview. So real quick, Duarte was a colonel in the Haitian army during the 22-year occupation, and also he wrote highly of them because of like their independent spirit. Like he actually wrote a lot about Haitians, but then he was like, "Yo, we need to have our own thing." That was his motivation, but he wasn't a fighter. He wasn't the one that was scheming in the way that these other guys were. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think it's ironic that we talk about that today because today is Maya's birthday.
We're Independence Day too.
You know what?
Almost.
I'm gonna go a step above it. Remember when we were talking about Brazil and them not fighting for their independence?
Baba Booey.
That's how I feel about Dominicans.
You are fake news.
Listen,
no, I read that, local, because the thing is, we were fucking, we were all like, fucking country was all happy being controlled by Spain. The minute we get taken over by Haiti,
you are fake news.
So we can get controlled by Spain again. Like, that's what we wanted. Like, that's what the people want. Like, that's fucking nuts, bro. Like, they just want to be subservient.
Bullshit.
But let me, before we continue, I just want to answer.
I feel about Dominicans the same way I feel like what we talked with Daniel last week about Brazil.
There is a lot of truth to that, but here's the thing, and I'm gonna fill in the spots a little quick, and at the same time answer KC. The difference, for example, with Brazil not creating a national identity because they never fought a war of independence. The difference with the Dominican Republic is that even though that war of independence was kind of done, A, because of racism, and B, because they wanted to become a Spanish colony again, and so many other reasons, the Dominican Republic was able to, at least initially, in that era of nation building, which was, like a 40-year period in Latin America, or a 50-year period, where all the countries gained their independence, but they had no national identity. The Dominican Republic was able to build a national identity based on not being Haiti, not being the exact opposite. And Joaquin Balaguer, and I was thinking about this today, he wrote a book literally called, or the book is La Isla al Revés.
Oh, yeah? Well, screw you guys. I'm going home.
Yeah, go home, motherfucker. So he wrote a book. He literally wrote a book talking about Haiti being the opposite of the Dominican Republic. And that idea has literally been at the foundation of Dominican identity for the last 200 years.
And the invasion of the Dominican Republic actually started happening before Haiti got their independence.
Yeah, well, yeah.
It was actually France, if we want to be real. And then that's part of the reason why I was like, a couple facts there are
the reason
correctly.
The reason why the Dominican flag is the way it is right now is because the French were pushing. Well, I mean, there's that, but the French were pushing for something else because the original Dominican flag looked a lot like the Haitian flag.
Yes,
a lot like it, and then. They added a few things to it, a few design differentiated. They're like la Biblia, el escudo, una guira.
Yo, can we change that escudo and like have like all
that would be so dope.
You know what? That's when you get chased by the Vincho mob, lo de Vincho vaina. Esa gente. Well, yeah, like you get chased by the mob, los nacionalistas de allá.
Oh, yeah.
Que se creen alemanes y vaina, son mamacuevos, coño.
Oh, look, this is the original flag.
That's it. So here's the thing, Casey. I just want to answer that because I don't want to leave that topic.
That shit is lazy as fuck.
Mad lazy. Literally, like, no creativity. It's like, oh shit. Like, yo, give me the answer.
¿Tú te imaginas eso? De que tú duraste 6 meses para venir con esa mierda.
You know, technically, this is the flag you're supposed to, like, well, not this
when
one.
It's in war, when they're in war?
No, you're not supposed to have the escudo on the flag legally in DR. That's only used for the military and for government. You're supposed to have it without the escudo for it to be like.
It's in the Constitution, I think.
It's in the Constitution.
But here's the thing, Casey. I just want to finish off.
I'm not fucking fighting about it.
The thing about us, the reason, obviously, when I say Dominicans are anti-Haitian, obviously I'm generalizing, because there's a lot of Dominicans who are Haitian Dominicans. There's a lot of Dominicans who were born in Haiti and vice versa. So obviously not every Dominican is anti-Haitian. However, the history that our country has had in relationship to Haiti lets you understand that we do not like them as a country. Like that, it's not
but we can also talk. Me and Kevin were talking about this, and Peter a long time ago too. It's like the hand they were dealt by France too. It's like the amount of money.
Not by just France. It's the fucking world that they were dealt.
The world.
Yeah, and then also like the way they fucked up their crops because they just kept.
But that wasn't. Okay. So that's a minimal part of. That's bullshit to an extent. But here's the thing. I just want to make sure we need to understand as Dominicans that we just, as a nation, we have a problem with Haiti. We don't like them.
No puedes aquí, That's your uncle right there.
No, literally, that's any Dominican above 50 years old is like.
You know what? You know when they
it's starting to be like above 30 now.
Yeah, no,
there. It's kind of fucking sad. Because the thing is, again, it has to do with the shitty education that we have in the Dominican Republic.
Like even at the highest levels with rich people, bro, they have a shitty quality of education, bro. They really
yo aprendí mucho más ya que aquí no te pasa.
¿Tú tienes escuela privada o una escuela pública allá?
Escuela privado.
Entonces, cállese la maldita boca.
This guy right here. Someone grab him.
This motherfucker has the greatest education like money can buy. And he's like,
no, I didn't go to the greatest school here, bro.
Como quiera, una escuela privada y escuela pública allá is the difference is huge.
Massive.
Oye, bro, eso no pasaba en Cuba, bro.
It's worse than here. The difference.
Bro, I taught at a private school in Santo Domingo. Yeah, I did. I fucking literally
Who has had every job and has been everywhere, KC? Why are we
Have you been a male prostitute?
Brutus, are you Jamaican? Brutus?
Are you Jamaican, bro?
Well, my mom did date a Jamaican back in the day, so I might be Jamaican. No,
hey, listen, something needs to come out, bro.
No, bro, I taught French. I taught French at a private school in Santo Domingo.
And you were teaching them Russian, well, they didn't even know. He was teaching them Russian and they didn't even know.
They didn't know. They didn't care. No, but oh my God, this motherfucker's going to be anthem. I hate you,
you fucking communist.
I hate you. Yeah, man, I was teaching them fucking French. But anyway, the point is, man, so we can finish it.
Vous parlez français?
Je parle français, oui.
Oh, je m'appelle Kevin. J'habite in New Jersey. That's all I know how to say.
Casey sounds literally like he's talking Creole.
Bien loco.
Casey is low key Haitian, bro.
Haitian?
I love it.
Is he? Damn.
He's not even Taino, bro. He's low key Haitian.
Which is awesome.
You know what's crazy? Now that you say that, my boy that used to work with me, he's from Honduras, and he used to call all Dominicans Haitians because he said that would get him mad. And I'm like, yeah, but you kind of saying it for a reason because you're looking at Dominicans as being the dark ones, and because he was white. And I'm like, don't you forget, you got some black people in Honduras too, bro.
Honduras has a whole
that's
coast,
the ultimate Dominican line. That's the ultimate Dominican line. When somebody points out that Dominicans are black,
I got black
Dominicans
people too.
Like, y'all are black too. Like, the fuck?
Wow. Fucking wild. Like using it as an insult is the thing. Like, that's the fucking problem.
Like, you got some black people too. You ain't better than us, motherfucker. You like, what the fuck, my dude?
Let's be honest. That's some of the reason why there's still racism in our networks and Univision and all those other places when it comes to TV and stuff like that. Let's not forget, bro. Because of color, and not even that, because of Indians.
Because it's owned by Mexicans,
Native Americans too. You know what was this movie that won an Oscar from Netflix? It was black and white.
That Mexican movie?
Roma.
Roma. Yeah, I saw that.
I thought you said Rona.
Like, whoa.
Yeah, Roma. Like the actress of that es una India de Mexico. And some people, and that's what I'm saying, Big. You saw that, right? Like there was articles coming out, like, why are they blocking entrevistando and a whole bunch of. I was like, that's crazy, bro. Like,
and it took like coming here and getting the Oscar nomination. I think she won like a Golden Globe, and she said like they interviewed her right like over here, and basically she called out all the people that like the stars de la telenovela because Televisa and TV Azteca in Mexico, they run this shit like the 1930s studios here. They run it like, yo, you live in these houses that we own. You're gonna do what we say. You gotta be looking a certain way. They gotta be a certain weight, the height, all that shit. Y todo el mundo insultándola on social media. And she like, you know what? That's just like como es que eso me rebala, loco, eso mierda. That's what she said. She like, I'm listening to y'all. Like look at the people that's paying attention to me, motherfucker. Yeah, like that movie.
But at the end of the day, don't you think that the Mexican system won? Because I haven't heard anything from her since. Like she got another. I think she's done other roles since then, but like more indie type shit.
Because she was a college student when she got casted.
Yalitza, what's her name? Yalitza Aparicio.
Yeah, that's her name. They was hating on her. Yeah, they was hating on her bad, bro. And it's like you know, it's. I mean, you could say they won if you want to, but to be honest, like they're not. They lost at the end of the day because of the. It was like a public rebuke of that system. It was bad. It was like hitting. You know what I'm saying? Once you hit like Entertainment Tonight and shit like that, bro, it's not a good look if you fucked up.
One of the 100 most influential people in 2019.
It was bad. No, I remember that whole issue, man. And you know, but I just think it's always interesting that we always use. Not that anybody here did that. I'm just pointing this out. We always use the racial issues of another country as a way to justify our own. And Casey had mentioned about colorism, and this is a serious issue. And I'm glad that Casey had actually mentioned it. When people talk about the fact that Dominicans are racist, or don't like Haitians, or that Dominicans are colorist, the first thing that they'll do is that they'll point out the fact that Dominicans are racist, but never recognize the cultures that they come from, where they're also racist as well. It's like they use in the Caribbean context, they'll use the Dominican Republic as like, well, man, the Dominicans are the worst, which is an issue about how we talk about race and racism in the Caribbean, colorism and all these different things. So we'll say, well, in Mexico, they had this woman, and in Honduras, they had this. Yo, it's all of us is fucked up, you know, and we're not doing any justice to the conversation, is what I'm trying to get at. The way we talk about it. It's always like, yeah, we're bad, but yo, they're worse. So, anyway, man, that's just, yeah, I think it's a lot about that. It's a lot two wrongs. It's not two wrongs won't make it right. It's like two wrongs will let us ignore it for a little bit more. Like, fuck it, you know, we're not going to deal with this shit. But anyway, man, it's a long conversation. Don't want to get stuck on that conversation. Let's move on real quick. Big had asked an interest. Actually, no. You know what, Mike? We have been going. Yeah, hello, mother. We had going back from some of the topics that we wanted to talk about. There was one topic specifically that you wanted to talk about.
Do you own anal beads? Yes or no?
Damn, bro.
You gotta answer that question,
Mike. It's a yes or no answer.
Mike,
it was a phase I was going through in high school. Okay,
You like the lawnmower?
I'm mad Alex knows the names.
That I will not answer. But I'm telling you, it was a phase.
So, Mike,
it tickled.
Oh shit, this motherfucker. So.
That's what Mike's gonna say when he goes for his prostate exam.
It tickled.
Look here, don't ruin me with a good time now. Don't you threaten me with a good time?
You're now early, sir?
I can't wait.
You're now early, sir?
Why you saying this? Why you a year early? You're not 40 yet. What are you doing?
Michael,
he's gonna tickle my ass or give me a lollipop afterwards.
He's gonna give the doctor his number.
Call me. I'm free on Sunday.
Hey, Diablo. My dad has the funniest joke with that shit. Like, when he went to get his prostate exam, like, he was like, ¿por qué el doctor tiene que tener los dedos de este largo así? Why the first thing I looked at the doctor's hands was he got the longest fingers in the world? Like, what the fuck, man? It's not even fair.
Yo, Mike is literally asking Casey, like, yo, what was your dad's doctor's name? Can I?
Four fingers?
You ever seen that Family Guy episode when Peter went to the prostate?
He used to play ball with the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. That really lets you know how big his fingers are.
This conversation, This conversation went somewhere. This conversation went left and never came back.
That's a baby thing he's holding in his hands. That's not even fingers anymore.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
I literally I was trying to take the conversation to a serious note, and then y'all fucking derailed it.
We can never be serious in this group. We suck.
At all.
What was the serious question? This is gonna sound so serious now that we talk about anal beads, but
I'm out here trying to have a kinky story out here.
So this is what Mike was trying to bring up. He wanted to discuss an issue that came up recently about the group Gente de Zona. They're from Cuba. They've had a lot of success with what's his name, Enrique Iglesias, another artist. So Mike wanted to bring up something that happened recently regarding the group. So go ahead, Mike.
Gente de Zona.
Gente de Zona, they had a song right now called Patria y Vida, and it's been the ultimate protest song with the situation that's going on with the Cuban government. And I'm gonna try not to drag it because it's actually a long story. But
I saw that you posted that.
Yeah, I've been posting like crazy that whole week. So I've been putting the hashtag, just trying to support them. I spoke to my cousin out there. She told me that the song is hot out there. It's starting some shit out there, in a good way, because people are now starting to fight that fear. But
what's the name of the song?
Patria y Vida.
Patria y Vida.
Okay.
Patria y Vida. There's other artists off top too. There's like 6 different artists out there, but Gente de Zona is the main group there.
They're all Cuban.
They're all Cuban.
Okay, that's what's up.
And they're all black Cuban. That's what makes it even more doper.
Is Yotuel from the group Orishas? Is that him?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Seem familiar.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So Mike, I like to be on. I saw the video, Mike. I'll tell you first impression. So I'm not Cuban. So I don't know.
Oh, really? You're not?
You're not Cuban?
I hate we cannot be serious in this. I hate you all.
Listen, you've been everywhere. You've had every job. I'm almost starting to think you're every culture as well at this point.
I'm every nationality.
He works for the CIA.
No, so I'm not Cuban. Okay, so let everybody know. But so I don't know the emotional.
He didn't deny the CIA.
Yeah, I didn't deny the CIA. I'm a mole. But no, listen, man. This is one of the reasons I saw this video. Whoever checks out the video, man, is dope. It's worth the watch. This is why art is so important in our society, because it's a vehicle that really allows people to protest things in a very specific way. Like the song is dope. The visuals are fucking on point. And that shit got me riled up. I was like, yo, free Cuba. I was like, I ain't even Cuban, man. That shit was dope.
Nah, the song is dope.
And, and not to forget the other artists, but Yotu, Gente de Soda, Michael, El Funky, and this other guy, Descenme El Bueno. But it was 6 artists. They got together and decided to, take the courage to talk about what's going on in Cuba. But out of all those people, Gente de Soda had, the most interesting story behind all 6 of them because, when it comes to Cuba, Cuban artists and the government and the politics, they really don't like to talk about it because it's a touchy topic and it's a situation that literally could get them in trouble. So every time they go, they always make a patch, right? Well, we will not discuss politics, but on an American point of view, Cuba. But something happened to them a couple of years ago where they had a show in Cuba where the government invited them to perform, and they got all high and mighty and they started praising the dictatorship. And it was not a good look for Cuban Americans. Actually, it was not good all out throughout the world with Cuban people that live outside of Cuba, but it hit hard with Cuban Americans. And they went from selling out shows in Miami to damn near not selling any shows. So they'd be like, okay, we don't need America, so we got these other countries, but American money is different when you succeed. American money is very different. Hold on a second. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, I lost you. All right, so, American money is kind of different out there. So what happened was they got in trouble again because they went to Cuba and they had a Cuban flag, but with the Cuban flag, it had the picture of Che Guevara. And that just gave it an ultimate uproar. So now they went from not selling shows in Miami to not selling shows in Europe, Spain, Mexico, Canada. This show was really dimming out. Because they were like, yo, what's wrong? And they have an interesting story because, a lot of racism with Cuba, just like it is with DR. But when you got black artists trying to protest, the story was going on, they really suppress them. So they prefer to have more white Cuban reggaeton artists because they don't really talk about protest. They talk about having a great time. I love Cuba. Cuba is great. I love being a Cuban. It's all having a good time. Yeah. So it's so opposed to a black artist, they'll talk about the struggle and how it sucks out here. So they kind of really try to suppress them. So, and Gente de Zona went there at first, so they had to switch it and talk about life is a party. But once they got, once they protested and they did, they got into big trouble and the shit was like their money was pretty much getting funny. There was a free concert they had in Miami back in October, and they got invited. So it was kind of sketchy because people didn't know where the energy was going on back, and they knew that they weren't really that beloved to the Cuban community. So they did a free show. There was a free show. They were invited. They had all these songs, and they took the courage to say "Abajo la dictadura." And once they said that, they say "Abajo la dictadura." It was back in October, and prior to that, one of the guys they had an issue with his visa because he was trying to bring his mom over, and the government would let him go, and he went to like some real shit. You know what I mean? That he damn near just got arrested and fucked up his whole career. So he had to play ball until he caught the courage to see, okay, how much pull do I got to say, fuck this, I had enough. So they got together and they had a free show, and they said "Abajo la dictadura," and everybody just went nuts because nobody wasn't expecting that from that group. They got the support back. They got the momentum they needed back, and now they realize, okay, they were having all these interviews saying, we was wrong. We was wrong all the way. We apologize to the community. We apologize to Cuban people. Like, we know. And they pretty much saying, like, yo, we know the story because we've gone through it. But, when you caught up in a headlock, you kind of have to play ball. But they took the courage to say, yo, we're not playing ball anymore, and we're going to talk about the social issues that's going on. So this is where this song came out, and it's gone viral. It's gotten a lot of hits, and I spoke to my cousins out there in Cuba, and they said, "Yo, this song is causing a lot of trouble in a good way. That people catching the courage."
Do you have any hope, Mike? Do you have any hope that in your lifetime you're gonna see a free Cuba? Is that something that you dream of? Like, serious question. Like, do you ever think?
I want to. I swear to God, it's not even more for me because I was born here. It's more for my mom and my father. It's more for them. You know what I mean? Because that's the only deep thing. She lived to see Castro die, so that was close enough. But the problem that me and her had this conversation because she's always like stuck in her ways, and it's like, look, stop being an adult. Stop being like that old adult that you know everything. If you guys want to get this right, you got to organize. Don't make it just like a Cuban thing because Cuba's not the only country that went to some fucking communists. You got to get with Venezuela. You got to get with Ecuador. Talk to the Chinese people. Talk to the Soviet. You got to, what I mean, get, the Cuban Democrats because now there's this war going on with Cuban Republicans and Cuban Democrats, Now it's been something that you never saw. I never saw that when I was a kid, but now because of social media or whatever the case, there's like a real bad tension. So it's like you got to get us all on the same page. You got to get the black Cubans with the white Cubans because they got this thing that the Cubans don't feel it like y'all feel it. You know what I'm saying? It's like you got to know how to organize. You know what I mean? And the fact that it was a black artist, and there's been more black rappers from Cuba talking about this shit because now they're not afraid anymore, and they got other ways to navigate through the system, through social media. The internet is the worst thing that could happen to Cuba because now you could tell what's really going on. You could see the police brutality, you could see the beat down, you could see the shooting. You know what I'm saying? There's a rapper right now that's being tortured right now in Cuba because of some song that he came out with, and he's literally being tortured as we speak. If you listen to the song, they talk about this group called the Sanitarios, and there's a whole bunch of college kids that protest. They got together and they protest against the government, and it hit big. So they're still kind of going with it, but it's like an up and down kind of thing because 1 minute they gain their momentum and the minute they lose it again. So it's like, it's one of those things, they got a momentum. You just got to learn how to organize. And with me, again, it's not for me per se to, see a Cuba Libre, but it's more for my mom and my dad. But the problem is Cuba keeps messing up because we get happy and then we think a momentum's going to happen and then like the momentum dies out again. Like I remember when Castro got sick in 2006, the whole city of Miami went nuts and, even Pitbull made a song about it. Like the old man's about to die. Like it was a big momentum. Then it died out again. And once Castro stepped aside and he got his brother in charge, the momentum went up. Oh, he's going to die. Something's going to happen. Then the momentum died again. Then Castro died. Everybody was having a party in Cuba. And then the momentum died again. Now you got these thing with the kids, and now you got the thing with Gente de Zona. The momentum keeps going up, but the problem with the momentum, it goes high and then it goes low again. So like they just get caught up with the moment and they don't know how to organize.
Yeah, that's deep.
That's deep, man.
That's it with that department, man. So I'm hoping y'all peep game of what's going on because it's a lot of
definitely gonna look more into it
by the end of this year. It's gonna be a lot more this year, and the reason why a lot like the one thing the Cuban community is telling Biden, because I keep telling like there's a reason why Obama didn't get the Cuban vote, and that's because he didn't like the deal. So Biden already said it, but you know how he is with his fucking seesaw of fucking statements. 1 minute he's rocking with some shit, the next minute he goes doesn't say it. You know, 1 minute we're gonna get $50 an hour, then we ain't gonna get it. We're gonna get a stimulus check, then we're gonna get it again. So he's always on the seesaw kind of thing. But for now, he's saying I'm not doing anything with Cuba unless they do something with the people. So I appreciate that.
Do you think that if Biden manages to force Cuba into becoming a democratic nation, that Cuban Americans who traditionally vote Republican, do you think that they then become Democrats because of that? Or do you think that it's like, no, we're Republicans and whatever, but this will be a good, little sign that they've done for us?
It will gain more votes. It will gain more votes because you got to remember when Obama was president, he got Florida because of the Cubans. He got Florida twice. You know what I'm saying? So you got to ask yourself, you go through online, you check the records, how did we went from Democrat voting for a black president and then all of a sudden we went to Trump? What did he do? Where the shit went left? Because everybody was hoping that Florida finally went blue, and that didn't happen. So you got to ask
and
yourself,
it was like, it was,
people happy.
And it was Dade County too with that, like,
Dade County, they called the shots,
that's
you know what I mean? And
that's my hometown.
I
So
had this conversation with Jonathan, like, yo, Cuba's run the shit there. They call the shots, like it or not.
But I told y'all about that. So. Like they worked their way up into the system. They bogarted the shit too. Like there's some backdoor dealings and shit.
Which you gotta respect, because technically speaking, that's a Jewish move right there.
I would say that is a Cuban move.
Whoa!
But I understand. I see the synchronicity. I see the overlap.
Mike, you know what it is, bro? Mike was saying it as a compliment, but the way he said
it sounded like an insult. Like,
the tone.
When you say was anti-Semitic, suck my dick. Look, listen. I'm giving you this a compliment. We respect the way you run the banks and run Hollywood. We want to know how y'all move. What is your fucking secret? What is these fucking Jewish meetings y'all get together that we compliment y'all and you fucking
he's going all
take it
in
as an insult?
He's cashing out.
Yeah, so Cuba, they started their underground internet, right?
Yeah,
yes.
Mike cashed out today. Mike cashed out. He was and then big left.
He muted himself. Hold on.
You saying that we run the banks and we run Hollywood is fucking anti-Semitic. I'm like, you fucking took Nick Cannon shit because you talked about it. What the fuck you mean you don't run shit?
Wait, hold on a second. Before we all continue.
You got all the rappers' catalogs.
Yo, everybody, we gotta give big ups to daCosta.
No,
yo.
daCosta, say what's up to everybody.
I have been here for a long time, bro. I'm just waiting for the time to say hi. But hey,
bro, I feel bad for daCosta.
You say too fast, bro. I can't understand. But I can't understand nothing, bro. But
no, your English,
I'm here.
Your English is going to get better. To our listeners, daCosta, how old are you?
I'm 19 years old.
He's 19, and then we'll put up the link. daCosta is a slam poet from Rio de Janeiro. Yeah. He's fucking phenomenal. But he's also just learning English, so we got to give him a fucking round of applause for having the balls to come into the group. Yeah,
hell yeah. Thanks, bro.
KC, you'll be really useful right now. KC, be useful. Use one of those fucking sound effects.
KC useless when
he has to.
What? That's only applause one. Wait, hold up. This is not an alphabetical order, guys. I'm sorry. So I clicked applause, and that's what it was.
So daCosta, we gotta give him credit. The man comes into the Ruckus podcast. He's working on his English and got the courage to come in. So daCosta, I'm gonna ask you a question based on what Mike said, and if you want to answer in Portuguese, you can answer in Portuguese, and I'll help with the translation.
Okay, bro. Okay.
So you're Brazilian. Well, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm here only to listen you, but when I have to say, I'm going to say, But
awesome.
Hey y'all, my name is daCosta. I have 19 years old. I'm from Rio de Janeiro, and I am learning a little bit of English with Duolingo.
That should help though.
But one day I want to come from USA, and is that, bro? I'm here to listen. Salutes from Brazil.
So let me ask you. Oh, there you go, Casey.
Oh,
Nice job,
man.
It took me a while. Sorry.
So daCosta. So Mike, who was just talking, he's from Cuba. His family's from Cuba.
Oh. Dope.
So we've been talking. So we've been talking about the dictatorship in Cuba and all these things. How do you, as a Brazilian, what are your opinions, if you have any, about like what do you know about life in Cuba and the dictatorship? Like, do you have any opinions on that? If you want to say it in Portuguese, you can go ahead and then we'll translate it afterwards. But what are your visions towards Cuba as a young Brazilian?
Bro, say to me in Portuguese.
Ok. Então, a pergunta, quais são as suas opiniões, do teu ponto de vista, o que você acha de Cuba, assim, das questões políticas, sendo carioca, sendo brasileiro, dentro de uma ditadura ainda, o Brasil teve 21 anos de ditadura, quase voltando numa ditadura. Então, como jovem brasileiro e tal, qual é o teu ponto de vista em relação a esse país? Tem alguma opinião?
My perception in my vision of Brazil, bro. Eu vou falar em português porque é bem difícil de eu desenvolver o assunto e aí tu vai desenrolando com eles.
Fala, não tem
Porém,
problema, fala.
As ideologias comunistas aqui no Brasil tem uma parte, né, da esquerda branca que idolatra bastante isso. A parada que idolatra Cuba como um país comunista, como um país libertário, né?
Então, rapidinho, deixa eu traduzir. So what he's saying is that, and Mikey, this is interesting, saying that the communist ideals, there's a part of Brazilian society, but it's the white, sort of left, white elites that really support this, these communist ideals. So he's racialized it in a sense. Pode continuar.
Yeah. Porém, eu tinha essa percepção também quando eu comecei a procurar saber, né, sobre a esquerda, quando eu era muito novo, quando eu tinha assim, uns 14 anos, por aí, eu comecei a procurar saber e a impressão que eu tive na época foi boa. Porém, houve uma vez que in the University of Rio de Janeiro, I go to how say that? Para um auditório, mano, uma palestra que teve do Carlos Moore. You know?
Carlos Moore, the Cuban philosopher. Yes, Carlos Moore.
Yeah, ele tem um livro chamado Marxismo e a Questão Racial, se eu não me engano.
Yep, fantastic book to anybody who's out there listening.
E ele fala que ele falou que ele na época, né, que ele morava lá, que ele foi exilado, né, que ele foi expulso de lá. E aí, a partir do momento que eu assisti a palestra dele, eu virei a chave, mano, de acordo com relação às minhas percepções sobre Cuba. E a visão que eu tenho hoje é de um país, a cultura negra de Cuba é uma parada que eu admiro demais, entendeu? Porém, o desenvolvimento do país enquanto política mesmo, né, comunista, e com relação à ditadura de Cuba, eu já não tenho mais a mesma percepção de antes, de uma parada assim, libertária, e, sabe? Hoje em dia, minhas percepções são totalmente diferentes.
Deixa eu traduzir aí rapidinho. So basically what he's saying, and it's interesting, like, he's saying that when he was younger, he was, in his early teens, 14 or 15, he looked at Cuba with sort of like that same vision that, white Brazilians look at Cuba as like communism being sort of a good thing and so on and so forth. And then he says that he went to a speech by, Afro-Cuban academic Carlos Moore, who has a book called Marxism and the Race and the Question of Race, and he says that at that point in time, sort of like a light bulb turned on in his head, and he no longer looked at Cuba in that same way.
I know what you're thinking. Where can I find more? For full episodes of the Ruckus podcast, you can check us out on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and your other digital streaming services. The Ruckus, it's organized chaos. Don't worry, we're working on getting Mike a better mic. Get it, Mike? And don't worry about it. You'll get it eventually.